The dramatic landscapes in between Alula and Al Henakia lie in wait ahead of the first stage of the 2024 Dakar Rally for the cars. Defending champion Nasser Al Attiyah was greeted before the start by His Royal Highness Prince Khalid bin Sultan Al Faisal, the president of the Saudi Automobile and Motorcycle Federation. The first of the big names to take on the stage was Stefan Peter-Hansel's Audi. Everybody is very stressed. Last year, stage 2 was catastrophic for a lot of people with all the punctures. I think we will have the same kind of terrain today, so we will be on eggshells. We can't afford to run out of tyres, so to not have more than 2 punctures. It will be more about managing the tyres rather than full attack. The electric power-trained Audi left the line, and there were very few tracks for the Frenchman to follow. Sebastian Loeb said yesterday that all he cared about was starting behind Peter-Hansel so that he could follow Monsieur Dakar's tracks. Unfortunately though, he ended up with one of the punctures that he was so concerned about, which knocked him down the order. Punctures were set to be the name of the game across the first stage. The prediction was that the second half of the stage would be worse for punctures. But there was an early one for Guerlain Chichery. The Overdrive Racing Toyota man was flying, second fastest through the first checkpoint. But he and co-driver Alex Winnock lost over 5 minutes, stranded in the desert. With no assistance, if you get a puncture, you've got to change it yourself. There's a lot of expectation around Lucas Moraes this year. The Brazilian is competing in only his second Dakar, but he was continuing to impress. After finishing third in his rookie year, he was running in the same position, approaching the halfway mark. But ultimately, he ended up slipping back to 6th. Still, a solid start in his Dakar. Solid is also the word to describe Sebastian Loeb, at least in the early part of the stage. He and his BRX Pro Drive Hunter were running in the top 10 on the long, fast, flat sections. They'd been unsure whether to push or take it easy in the prologue yesterday, and ultimately decided to go for it, finishing third fastest. But through one of the slow, technical sections of the stage, it looked like he was starting to struggle a little. And a few moments later, he had to pull over at the side of the road. A left rear puncture, seemingly the problem. It was hell. You just can't drive. You just don't know what speed to drive. You drive on stones, and we just hoped not to puncture. But it's okay. We're here, and that's all that matters. Quickest in the prologue, Matthias Ekstrom scampered off into the distance. But he suddenly lost 8 minutes, dropping from 1st to 4th, with just over a quarter of the stage remaining. There's no doubt though that there is pace in the Audi, but the balance between risk and reward was a fine line for all the drivers to tread.
We made a little U-turn at one place, maybe lose half a minute, 1 minute, and then we got one puncture. So in the end, maybe we lost, let's say 3 minutes, but in the end we had a good day, we enjoyed it a lot, and yeah, let's see how far it will bring us for tomorrow.
500 meters.
It was turning into a tough stage for the Pro Drive Hunters.
Off piste to the left.
After Loeb suffered a puncture, Nasser Al Attiyah's first split was competitive.
Continue cap 147. Slowly. Waypoint okay. You can go to the right. Hairpin right cap 270.
But 2 punctures put an end to his chances within the first 50 kilometres. He even had to change to repair his second puncture at the same section of the stage as Loeb, the right rear coming apart. He ended up 22nd at the end of stage 1. The surprise of the stage was Guy Botterill. The 37-year-old South African is making his Dakar debut driving for Toyota Gazoo Racing, and after a quiet start he eased himself up into contention, fighting for the win. Everyone was waiting at the finish line to see if he would finish in the top 3. But he lost 13 minutes in the final 20 kilometres, which dropped him down to 8th. The experience of Giniel de Villiers was remarkable, as he came through to finish in 3rd place. Competing in his 21st Dakar, the South African has never finished outside the top 10, so it should come as no surprise that his nous came to the fore. Running 9th at the halfway stage, a late push gave him a very strong start to the rally. The top Audi ended up being Carlos Sainz. It was an incredibly consistent run for the experienced Spaniard. Once he got ahead of his Audi teammate Matthias Ekstrom, he was fighting for the win. He ran in the top 3 for the majority of the stage, but in the end had to settle for 2nd. This is Guillaume de Mévius' first attempt at the Dakar in the top class. So winning his first stage was a remarkable way to start his campaign. The 29-year-old Belgian is from a rallying family and impressed in the Challengers last year. He finished 3rd in that class, but has taken the step up to the Ultimates incredibly well. He was under intense pressure towards the end from both Carlos Sainz and Botterill, but he held on to take the win. It was a nice start. I'm pretty surprised, to be honest. We drove smartly and calmly. We didn't puncture, and that was the key today. But I'm surprised to be so well placed. After a roller coaster stage that looked like anyone could win, avoiding punctures was the name of the game. Zalavai Todas quietly made his way into 4th place, and despite being one of the earliest drivers to have tyre problems, 2-time Le Mans winner Romain Dumas managed to finish 5th ahead of Lucas Moraes. But it was a superb drive from Guillaume de Mévius to give him the win.